Good morning, Hamiltonians. My name is Jean Jacobs and I'd like to welcome you to my garden. Today we're going to focus on capturing rain and rain gardens. So I moved to Hamilton about 3 years ago. And one of the first things that I did was I attended a workshop. Michael Albanese, who's part of Green Venture, was presenting on water gardens. And that's how I started realizing my dream of having a water garden. And my focus has originally started with growing native plants. It seemed the natural thing to do, rather than growing all these cultivars that had to be tended and taken care of. And so the plants were the focus. Then it became the plants and the insects, creating habitat for ground-dwelling bees, for all kinds of insects. There's biotics in my garden, which is groups of logs that insects can live in. And so I would say now it's plants, insects, and birds is my focus. So there are a lot of things that take advantage of my garden. So I'd like to explain to you a little bit about the mechanism or the reason why this rain garden was established. There was a downspout here, and I had great pooling of water over here, and I was concerned that it might go into my basement. So that was the motivation. Capture the water, keep the water out of my basement, and have a lovely garden. So as you can see, the downspout comes down like this, and it's angled into a catch basin. Attached to the catch basin is a big pipe that goes underneath this flat stone, and it exits through a drain here. And this is all angled toward the garden. So it pops out of the drain and wends its way into the lower part of the garden. In addition, I have rain that's diverted from a rain barrel on the other side of my house that comes that takes care of all the overflow out of a 100-gallon water barrel. This particular drain pipe takes about 40% of my roof. So when it rains, like it did the other day, we get into overflow really quickly. So rather than waste the water, I drilled a hole in the side of my rain barrel, and then I got some sump pump hose, and it just slides in there, just like that. The black hose that comes off the large rain barrel is probably 60 feet long. So you have to find some ingenious ways to manage it so that it doesn't become a trip hazard for you, or so that it's disguised, because it's not the most attractive thing in the world. So if you don't want to have it showing, say if you're having a party or something, you can get a connector. You can just disconnect it and then tuck the hose back into your garden. And then when you need it again, you can just connect it up again. It's so easy. So this rain garden gets as much rain as I can possibly give it. When the rain garden was established, it's dished out in the middle. So that's where the water collects, and that's the area around which I plant most of the moisture-loving plants. But these plants also do moist and dry, so they can accommodate that fluctuation. Things like Joe Pye weed and boneset. And in front of the boneset is a cardinal flower, which is a flower that I've always wanted to have. On beyond it, you will see a swamp milkweed, which will grow in dry conditions, but really prefers to have its feet wet. In the back here are some tall yellow flowers. One of them is a smooth oxeye, and the really tall one here is a coneflower, which all the goldfinches have found already. So it's a splash of color and feeds the wildlife. And around the edge, where it's higher, there are plants that manage better with a dry situation. If you're interested in dry plants along the edge, grasses are a good alternative. So there's little blue stem in here, and prairie dropseed, and the white one is pearly everlasting. Loves the dry. So it gives people an opportunity to explore many different kinds of plants that grow in many different kinds of conditions and have a nice diversity within their garden. And on top of that, it gives you more insect diversity as well. It's been great to share my garden with you. I want to say thank you for stopping by. My parting words to you would be, to make every drop count. The city will thank you, the lake will thank you, and your gardens will thank you.